Mayoral Memo with Matthew Dickerson from Dubbo Regional Council.
Some pretty exciting news with funding going towards the Wiradjuri Cultural Tourism Centre and keeping place in Dubbo. I suppose, what are the next steps now for this project here?
Well, I actually go a bit further than that. It's more than pretty exciting news. This is fantastic news. One of the things that's significant about this piece of infrastructure is it's the biggest project that we will build since the Dubbo Regional Theatre and Convention Centre, which was opened way back in 2010. So this is a significant piece of infrastructure. The really good news about it is that back when we built the theatre, that was 100% funded by ratepayers. We actually had a special rate variation to pay for the theatre. This here, though, the announcement that was just made was $7.2 million from the Australian government for this facility, which was a $15 million facility. We already had $5.6 million committed from the state government, so we'll only be putting $2.2 million towards this. There are a few next steps to go with this. The first of those is at the council meeting this coming Thursday. We'll have to make the final decision to go ahead or not. So in other words, we've now got the grant funding. We've now got everything in place. Councillors have to say final yes. In December last year, councillors unanimously said to go ahead with the funding strategy that we had in place with the $2.2 million of ratepayers money if we got the grant. Now we've got it. We've got to give the final go ahead. And from there, we've got a number of steps to go through. We've got a DA to go through and process. We'd have to put out the construction out to tender, obviously get a successful tenderer, and then get the construction started. If I had to pick a date, and this is putting me on the spot, but if I had to pick a date, I would say by the middle of 2026, we'll be pretty close to having this project finished.
Wow, yeah, that's fantastic. All across the board, really. Can you talk to us about the importance of a build like this? Why is it such an important thing for the region?
One of the things that's really good around the Dubbo region at the moment is that we do have a lot of tourists. We have about 1.3 million tourists come through the city each year. And what we want to do with those tourists is keep them here for longer. And we've been doing that successfully over the years by having more tourist offerings. Obviously, we've got this fantastic asset in Taronga Western Plains Zoo. That's a big draw card for the city. Once we get people here, we want them to stay longer. And obviously, every night we keep them here, our numbers say it's about $220 per person per night that people stay in Dubbo. So when they stay for one night, for example, and look at the zoo, if we can keep them here for a second night to look at the Royal Flying Doctor Visitor Experience Centre or Old Dubbo Jail or Wellington Caves, various other assets that we've got, if we can keep them here longer, that is fantastic for our economy. This has the potential to keep people here longer, but also to attract people in its own right. Being an Aboriginal tourist attraction, when people do come, in particular from overseas, but often from metropolitan areas, when they do come to a regional area, they do almost expect to see some Aboriginal tourism, and this will fill that gap because there is a gap in the market with Aboriginal tourism. So this will fill that gap, but also it'll be a special place for Wiradjuri people from here in the first place. So I think a really good facility for our local Aboriginal community, but also a really good asset to show off our Aboriginal community to the rest of the nation, the rest of the world.
Yeah, fantastic.
This is expected to generate $90 million into the local economy over the next 3 years and generate 160 job opportunities in the first 3 years. So that's fantastic from a cultural perspective, but also fantastic from a straight economic perspective.
Yeah, fantastic.
Mayoral Memo with Matthew Dickerson from Dubbo Regional Council.